And good morning, everyone. Good morning, Callum.
Good morning.
And welcome in the episode 161 of umbraCoffee.
Yeah.
It was again a pretty fast week, at least.
Yeah.
About you.
I don't think my feet have managed to touch the ground this week. I've been in meetings. Earlier in the week we had a 7-hour long Teams call, and it was enduring. That's for sure. It was definitely difficult. It's been a busy week. How about you?
I have a lazy setup of my studio today, as you can see, just because of the fact that I was not even able to prepare myself for all the lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty busy. A lot of the things happened, and of course, as always, a lot of the things to mention in umbraCoffee. We also forgot to say good morning on the YouTube chat. So people, if you're watching, and we hope you are watching, let us know in the comments, say hi, and tell us how's your week. And Callum, during this week's gathering, we had a lot of Twitter threads to scan through.
So for people that don't know, every week, like I or Marcin will sit down and we'll go through the news for the week, and we do collect things throughout the week as well. But this morning I sat down to collect the news for umbraCoffee, and it was definitely more challenging than it has been usually, because it's easy. We can go down Twitter, we can go down Slack, we can look on our Umbraco, all of this sort of stuff. But this week was a bit noisy, shall we say, on Twitter. Yeah. There was a lot of discussion.
Yeah, a lot of discussion, and of course, Umbraco hashtag is the place where you can all check what happened, and we are following it every week. But yeah, we've started last week from the idea of having Ask Me Anything session with Umbraco HQ. We shared some of the links to the forms, and I still think it's an interesting to follow the answers on the forums like that. And I've mentioned it on my Twitter response in the past that what bothers us in terms of using Umbraco, it was the question which I raised in the past. Right now, it's like what you would ask Umbraco HQ if you had a chance in any kind of communication. And this link is also flying on Twitter, and you can find this on our profiles as well. So yeah, if you have any questions which you would like to ask for Umbraco HQ, that's the place where you can drop the comments, and I'm following the answers, to be honest. Did you check the answers?
So I have looked at the answers. There's been some interesting ones. Now, for the sake of balance, of course, let's be open and say I think some of them are. Well, I think some of them are maybe questions that are difficult to answer. Some of them, existential questions about Umbraco. Those actually are the ones that I'm more interested in. I don't really care too much about people attacking HQ about why forms isn't very good or all of this stuff. I kind of want to know where HQ see the product evolving. Where does it drive in the next 5 years? Where do they see it? How does it compete with the likes of WordPress or other CMSs?
That was my question. Where Umbraco sees themselves in 1, 3, and 5 years, because that's exactly that might dictate how it can be addressed, because issues and problems, bugs are everywhere and are in every software, and every software has problems, and we've been also discussing about Sidecar last week that there's no piece of software which won't bring good and the bad emotions, and same with all the development stuff. If we're working with regex and we suffer in understanding it for 2 weeks, and then when it works, we love regex. It's same with all the tools, and Umbraco included, right?
I think another thing to say, and this does feel like I'm kind of feeding you a bit of an HQ line, but the more and more I've delved into certain areas of the Umbraco community, be it releasing packages or be it discussing approaches to different things, the community is incredibly divided on approach, and that's totally okay. I see in the chat Aaron's here saying he loves forms, it's great, and I kind of agree. Like as a product, yes, it needs some love, but the product does quite a lot of work that ultimately you'd have to do write a lot of code for yourself. Now, if we consider that as part of a wider question about Ask Me Anythings, people have their perspective, and that perspective isn't wrong. They're perfectly entitled to that perspective. Others have different perspectives. So it's a really tricky one to kind of moderate. I don't think it's an easy thing to moderate. You can't dismiss someone's opinion or someone's viewpoint just because that's not what you agree with. At the same time, I think we need to respect other people's viewpoints as well, that maybe the majority of the community think one way and the other doesn't. Just because you believe that you build websites in a certain way, you build highly technical sites, doesn't mean, and you feel Umbraco is letting you down in a few places, doesn't mean that it's not working perfectly for the people on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, and it all raised also various discussions about open source and then related to the open source in general. I also had some feelings from my perspective that I'm not good maintainer in general, but yeah, it's the beauty of open source as well. And I saw, Callum, you also tweeted about it. It's like we can respect each other, we can do whatever we can do, but it's about doing, not just not being and participating. It's like still it's a lot of time and efforts required to do anything which is open source and which is used by many people. So yeah, taking stands it's not the place to go, but respecting questions and answer is something what we can definitely do. And I know that HQ is working on some of the options to communicate with community better and address these questions.
That Ilham shared on Twitter, which I really liked, was an example from HashiCorp, who run community office hours. And as a concept, I really like this idea. Again, respect is the key word here. Providing they can be run in a respectful manner where it's a constructive conversation where we're seeing all sides of the argument, I think that's a fantastic idea. I don't personally think that, say, a platform like umbraCoffee is designed for that. I think we have our views and we can share those, and we're happy for others to share them too. But I don't think this should become a kind of a debate. The community office hours idea is really good. It's something that we've seen in communities like the .NET community with their community stand-ups as well, and something that we've discussed for many years. Wouldn't it be great
for ages?
Something like this?
But Callum, we can have a kind of a public announcement. It's February, and February is going to be a challenging month for us. We want to do something in February.
Yeah, we've got something exciting brewing.
But Callum, it's a good segue to what umbraCoffee is, because this week finally I made a gathering of my findings of our statistics, and maybe let's go to kick off with the umbraCoffee in general. For all of you who are not following us on Twitter, if you will go and find out about umbraCoffee hashtag, I've gathered some of the statistics about our channel, and maybe I will need to refresh that. Callum, did anything surprised you from these numbers and from these statistics when it comes to?
So the statistics thing's an interesting one that a few people have mentioned to me. Hey, umbraCoffee episodes are getting really long, and it's so true, right? The episodes are getting longer and longer, and it's not because we're not trying to keep them shorter, but yeah, they are getting longer. The thing I've noticed though is the longer the episode that we do, the more views it gets. And I don't know why that would be. I would have assumed the shorter, quick dive in and out thing gets more views, but apparently not. The other thing that's really interesting is the types of topics that we see trending. And typically the episodes that are longer are the ones that have got a demo of some sort or a more of a technical talk about things. From my point of view, I think I've said this maybe in our end of year episode, highlights for me last year were the geeking out with Rasmus and Morten over the architecture of Hardcore. Our number one most viewed video still is one of my favorites from our first year, I think. When Jeffrey and Nick joined us to show the Google Assistant
Home integration.
Yeah. So I like those episodes, and it's great to see that they rank and perform so well with viewers.
Yeah, what surprised me the most is still we are not proper YouTubers yet, right? We are not tagging the content correctly, not creating cards and stuff like that. And still, a lot of people are looking for content like the one which we are sharing. And still, umbraCoffee is a news gathering. This format is for obviously highlighting all the community works, all the releases, all the new stuff from Umbraco world happening this week. But yeah, longer format demos, tutorials, maybe some explorations of the architectures are on our list, and still are something what we want to explore. So if you are interested in statistics from umbraCoffee from the last year, it's all on Twitter. Share your opinion about it. I was surprised that I wasn't surprised that UK is the top market where it was. Because I was
surprised at the proportion though. I mean, looking at the chat now, I think pretty much everyone engaging in the chat is in the UK right now. But,
exactly.
I was a little bit surprised about the proportion. It's not necessarily representative of the wider Umbraco community. So I'd love to see how we can, branch out. And of course, we've got ambitions for 2021. As we said, we might have something coming later this month, but also, we're going to get sponsorship, aren't we, Marcin? We're going to have ads and no.
To be honest, I forgot about something, of course, due to the responsibilities. But I've set up a profile for us to buy as a coffee or beer or pizza or donuts. That might be the option. That might be the option.
That's the thing. We have to take a break mid.
Yeah.
This umbraCoffee is brought to you by.
Yeah, but quick advertisement section. If you want to support us, if you want to put some advertisements here, just reach us to us. We will send you an invoice and just do it.
To be very fair, maybe we can be, whilst we're talking about this, we can be transparent. So umbraCoffee itself, you'd think, okay, it's just two people, maybe a few guests on a stream once a week. Aside from the work, let's say we put an hour of work in to preparing, and let's say we put an hour into the actual episode, there's still costs involved in running umbraCoffee, probably to the tune of €500 a year. So we cover the costs of all of those mugs that we've lost track of who needs one and who's got one. All the swag we've done. Even this streaming platform costs $30 a month, 30 something a month.
Yeah, something about
there are costs, but ultimately we do this because we enjoy it. Exactly. We're not here to try and become YouTube umbraCoffee as a millionaire or whatever. The YouTube channel that does that.
Yeah.
How I built this software as a millionaire.
As an ex Umbraco ex Cogworth.
Yeah, as a millionaire,
ex-millionaire.
But yeah, we're not here to
just to summarize, we are not sponsored by anyone, not by HQ, not by any company. We are just doing it for internally and just for our pleasure and from our pleasure. Let's just keep it that way. We are thinking about various other ways of support, but it's not the major part of our activity.
Exactly.
Let's jump to the news, because we tried to keep it shorter this week, but it won't happen. Sorry in advance. But yeah, we have speaking about fun, about hacking, about new stuff. Bjarke shared an update about some real website running on Umbraco UniCore branch. So it means that we are getting closer and closer to the place where we'll be able to run websites on .NET Core version of Umbraco, and that's exciting. It has a lot of positive feedback, and yeah, we are just awaiting right now the commits, the releases, and maybe the further steps applied to the project.
I believe in the recent product update, we were told the 9th, which is Tuesday, we may be seeing another alpha. Of course, that can change, and that's totally fine. But this is really exciting, seeing this video showing a real working example running on UniCore with front end rendering. It's just an HTML template, I think. But Bjarke shows the back office as well, and actually confirmed, expected on Tuesday. That would be exciting.
Next Tuesday. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm trying to reload it, of course, after my internet connection issues before going live. But yeah, it's really exciting. Let's check it out. Let's keep fingers crossed for seeing it next Tuesday, and everyone can play then with the .NET Core version of Umbraco.
And whilst we're on the topic of .NET Core, I saw Matt Brailsford has started a bit of a chat on Twitter this morning about packages and .NET Core, and it's a really interesting question. Are people maybe holding off releasing updates to packages now for the .NET Core version because they want to prepare? And I know personally, I've actually been putting some work in the background to get my packages on V7 and V8 in a nice state where I can then spend a few months actually working on versions for .NET Core as well. So I think probably most package devs are starting to prepare in some way. It's going to be interesting to see. There's a 5-ish month period where the goal is an August launch, so 5-ish month period where people can start getting stuff working. It's going to be an interesting few months. We might see some people trying some cool new things.
Yeah, and from the internals, I've seen a lot of developers already thinking about it, starting libraries in .NET Standard, or even exploring more about the new C# features outside of the Umbraco context, which is good because that will shorten the path of migration or adopting. And if we will be just working on one library, which is a connector of the logic with the Umbraco itself, that's architecturally it's the way to go in this case. Right?
Matt tweeted that maybe he should try and revive his Carbon CMS project and rebuild it on .NET Core as a way of kind of practicing with a fixed limited scope, limited boundaries on that project to test it out. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, same as with headless approach of developing stuff. It's like being not dependent from the tool itself. Is pretty cool. But getting back to the Umbraco world, also Skrift release was released this week, and I kind of like both articles highlighted this week because they are related to topics which I was exploring recently. Callum, you've been also talking a lot about front doors and resilience in terms of Azure and cloud services, and here we can see the really well written approach of configuring front door with Umbraco back office domains configured there, and that's one of the options because the second one is it's more related with the gateway, and that's where I've played a lot with that and some header transfers, some Azure App Service extensions required to do that. It's not easy topic, and still I have a blog in my draft to highlight that, but it's really good to see that more and more people are dealing with the stuff like that and sharing their experiences, because I probably when I shared first update about Gateway and Umbraco, I was contacted by 4 or 5 people who were dealing with the same issues, and yeah, we finally solved it. But it's good to share it to shorten the path for others. So great article from Mario here, helping to deal with the front door.
Indeed, and then the similar topic. Obviously, Aaron's continued or finished now his series on hosting your site on Azure, and that's a fantastic conclusion. This is the build pipeline stage of things. It's a really detailed series.
Yeah, and I've also started some conversations on Twitter about Azure and Umbraco and slots and some other interesting stuff about that. And I think it's still something what is not that well known across even experienced developers and experienced people dealing with Umbraco. So it's good to relate to that. It's good to see some inputs from the HQ as well. And I still think that we need to explore it in the more details how it works to understand the weaknesses and the weak spots in all the cloud setups, because that's where we are running it more and more, and hopefully Umbraco will also share a lot more because of their work done on app service layers for cloud and so on. Mm-hmm. Packages, we've mentioned packages, and of course some of the package creators still shares their updates and new releases, starting from Kevin Jump and using Complete. Callum, what we can say about these releases again? It's like
a bunch of stuff in here, including some the cache clearing thing's pretty cool. A way to clear all of the caches, but it's a whole bunch of efficiencies in kind of workflow here. So the comparison tool actually will give you a proper side-by-side comparison of what you're about to change. Equally, there is a blank site mode where I think you can kind of import a whole site from fresh, from clean, and that looks really cool. As always with anything Kevin does, we know that it's going to be slick and it's going to be it's going to work well, and I'm constantly impressed at using Complete.
But also amount of details here with every release is like I don't need to install it to see that it's worth installing and upgrading.
It puts my 3 sentences for release notes to shame. This is
new release. Download if you want to. we are relating back to us being maintainers, but yeah, great work, Kevin here, and of course everyone who is using Complete, go and check it out, the new release. But also another project maintainer which we hosted in umbraCoffee last week, Sam released an updated version of Ecstatic, supporting the things which we were discussing on the umbraCoffee. That's crazy. So yeah, Git deploy and deployment via FTPs,
which now basically covers every single possible platform you want to deploy to. We discussed last week Netlify, but Azure DevOps, Azure static sites, GitHub pages, some Linux server you've got running, you want to host a static site on. It's really cool to see this.
Yeah, so great work, Sam, and yeah, if you were amazed by what's possible with Ecstatic last week, right now it's even better and cover most of the fancy and also old school version ways of deploying stuff across the web servers. the next two ones are from us and my team. We were working on image crops, as you probably have noticed in the past couple of weeks. I've been updating my package. I still need some help with documenting what has changed in V8 because it has changed. But we've released two versions of the package for V7 and V8 to generate to be able to select the crops in the doc types, but also in the macro parameters, which was something what we needed in one of our projects. And Adrian did a side project from his side, exploring Skriban, which is a templating engine for C# classes and other crazy stuff like that. And we've extended the data type for the image cropper with automatically generated static class for strongly typed aliases, sizes, and so on for the crops which we have in the applications. And that was something what we wanted to do and use in our code. And right now it can be automatically triggered from the back office. So if you are dealing with image croppers, install, test it, check it out, and share your feedback, because that was something what we always needed. And I know that Adrian is still planning to expand this package to not support only image croppers, but all the data types.
I was going to say this because I had a little look at this, and I have a package that allows you to create an enum and decorate different properties on the enum with an attribute to define crops. And I've got another package where it will actually read those crops in and populate the image cropper in the back office.
Okay.
What I looked at was, wouldn't it be cool if you could do that in reverse? And actually, with Adrian's package, there's an interface that I, as a dev, can replace, and it can generate the class in whatever format I want. So I could generate that enum with the attributes and all of the stuff I wanted. And the potential there is huge. The fact that we could have that for absolutely any data type would be amazing. Not just generate a class based on the settings of a data type.
Yeah, we were exploring how Models Builder does it, and ideally, I think it's something what can be coupled with Models Builder. So, for example, if we're generating models for document types, why not to generate the ones for data types if you want to refer to them to pre-values? There were always sufferings and problems with getting pre-values and stuff like that. What if it will be generated on the compilation level? And having engines like that right now, having the great compilers and faster compilers, it's just one step closer, and I think that that this is just an initial step. Adrian released it today to have some feedback and tests done. So if you are interested to see how it works, go and check it out and share your feedback to help us in making it better.
Looks awesome.
More releases. One big release upcoming, and this is a UCommerce, which is an e-commerce platform which is also running on Umbraco, and it's coming with the new version 9.4. Where is the date? February 25th. So new version.
They've given us a beta to download from a Twitter link. It's interesting. I've never seen this method of delivery of a beta before. It's a link to a Google Drive.
From Google Drive. Nice.
If it's on NuGet, I've not really checked. But yeah, you can download a beta and give it a try as well.
Cool. So all of the people who are interested in e-commerce and used or wants to use UCommerce can check it out and share the feedback before official launch. And Dennis, again.
Kind of a release. This is cheeky because there's two blogs I wanted to highlight from Dennis, and this was the only way I'd squeeze both of them in. So Dennis has done some updates to his unit testing examples project, which is an awesome project, well worth a look. But he's added a whole bunch of things this week based on the blog post coming up, which is about how he's testing web API endpoints.
So yeah, combined release and blog post together with a lot of new stuff shared for everyone who wants to explore unit testing with Umbraco. So go and check it out here. Meetups. Speaking about meetups in the next phase, I completely missed this one yesterday. I thought that this is the next week. I'm just as same as bad maintainer I am, the same meetup attendant I am, to be honest.
Yeah, I also didn't make it to this one. I've had a pretty busy week. But I've been assured that the answer to this question was yes.
Yes,
so, Umbraco is still viable in 2021. Anyone in the chat who was there, maybe let us know a summary of what went down. I'd love to know. Maybe we can get Phil to do this talk at another meetup or something soon.
Yeah. So yeah, if you attended, share what you found. And yeah, Busra said that it was recorded, so it will be released on YouTube. Yes, one of these ones which might get recorded and shared, because I really feel like it's worth sharing. A/B testing is the next one, which is upcoming this time, and we still can attend it. So it's on Wednesday next week, and we've been mentioning it before. Jeffrey will be sharing a demo on a marketing suite with probably some of the new stuff built in there, and some other discussions about A/B testing and personalization, which is a hot topic still. So we can go and attend that. And your .NET Bonanza, as you were sharing it.
Yeah, exactly. Some really great talks planned for that. I think we've got 50 odd people signed up. I'd love to see more. I think there's going to be some amazing things to show off. So yeah, sign up to the .NET the London Meetups .NET Bonanza, as I called it, .NET Core Bonanza. Bianca, Emma, and Carol all doing great talks.
Next week. Remember.
Thursday.
And the week after, let me just check the date if I'm correct.
After
the week after. I'm just, February is such a short month that I'm it's even hard to catch up. So the week after, we will be also mentioning and reminding about it next week. But there is a Glasgow Umbraco meetup on Tuesday. And Tim Payne is going to share his story there, and some other demos and discussions will happen. And 2 days after, umbraCoffee meetup, which is going to host Nick and talk about creating public profile pages for Umbraco, which has been documented in the Pretty Well series of articles before as well. That's about meetups.
There is one more event. So this is something that Warren kind of sparked earlier in the week.
Yes, exactly.
He asked, who likes games? Who wants to game as a community? And so Warren started, I think, a gaming channel on Slack, and there's been a bit of chatter in there, and it's kind of snowballed, and they're now doing a games night tonight, I think, 8 p.m. tonight. You can join virtually on Discord. They have a Umbraco gaming Discord channel, which you can sign up to. Oh, it's an Umbraco community one. I didn't realize that. I'm not a Discord fan personally.
I'm using some Discords, but not that extensively like Slack. But we'll of course link the invitations down there. And if you're a gamer, if you want to play games with some community members, that's the great initiative. And just join Rasmus and Warren today for the first.
They're doing Among Us. Is it Among Us that they're doing tonight? Or
yes, Among Us. Yeah, that was somewhere in the hashtags. Yeah, game of Among Us. Yep. So yeah, maybe next game's upcoming. If people will be willing to play together, that's really cool. Next option and opportunity to do something maybe not that much Umbraco related, but within the friendly people and community out there. And blogs. Blogs are the next ones on our list. We have a blog highlighting initiative from Anthony Dang, which we've been mentioning in the past, which is umbraCoach. And Callum, I've seen you or your team attended the session this week, right?
We had a chat with Tim, and it was actually really good. It was more of a process chat rather than technical chat, but it was really valuable. This blog post is fantastic because Anthony has let's say pushed the boundaries of what Uno could do, and integrated some custom code that he's written elsewhere, runs on an Azure function. He's written some JavaScript, and he's kind of embedded it into the site. So he's got an Eventbrite integration for sending emails, all kinds of stuff, which is really, really cool. It's a great example of kind of showing that Uno can do a little bit more than you'd expect. And in this case, Anthony could focus purely on the functional bits rather than building the website, which is, nice. I have a play with this kind of approach.
Yeah, but still, it's like highlighting all the coding abilities and possibilities of connecting the tools. And I am a huge fan of low code and no code recently, and I know that we can even do better and use Umbraco for content management and connect the dots and endpoints. And that's where Anthony also exposed that Uno is extensible that way, and nothing stops us from using Uno or Cloud or Umbraco in general with integrating tools which are external and maybe requiring or even not requiring that much coding experience at all. But yeah, go and check it out how Antonio built this platform, and also check out the platform and the next meetings in the calendars, because as you've said, there is a lot of knowledge being shared there, and it's just it would be sad if it will be wasted. So use this knowledge, get the people to answer questions, and yeah, have a chat there. The next one is about our community new MVP, new Microsoft MVP.
Yeah.
And again, congrats, Purnima. I've already shared that, but we have a next Microsoft MVP in our community. How many of them we already have? Callum, you, Purnima, Carol.
Me, Purnima, Carol, James South,
Hank.
Hank works in Microsoft. He doesn't count now.
Yeah, that's true.
Shannon, Morton, of course, but then Simona used to be an MVP. Hank used to be an MVP. Aaron Powell used to be an MVP before they all joined Microsoft. So, there's a good growing group. It's great to see that people's work, not only in the .NET community, but also kind of the surrounding communities, get recognized. Obviously, Purnima has done some amazing talks on Blazor at Umbraco events and at some Microsoft events as well. So, yeah, very well deserved.
Cool. And another highlight of the community member is February U profile. And another new face, which is Ayu Laxmita. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but it's a new profile for February from the Luminary company, working from Bali.
Some awesome stuff, but yeah, from Bali.
Exactly.
That's great. I didn't know we had Umbraco users in Bali.
Yeah, and so Luminary is the company behind the Australian meetups.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So Emmy, who's their technical director, of course, he's done loads of talks on hardcore and things. Yep. He also helps out with the Melbourne meetup and the Australian meetups. So I guess he is IU's technical lead.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Cool. If you will ever need to have a speakers on Bali for any meetup in the future,
if they could start up a meetup there, I would.
Yeah, I'm volunteering as well for doing a serious weekly series of talks. Yeah, that post-COVID era, but let's do that. And some blog posts which we've mentioned as well. Matt Bracehold shared a great blog post following his kind of tweet discussion about converting iContent to iPublish content for Umbraco QA. And I extremely like this blog post and this expression because it's an evolution of the code which was shared in the past. And right now it's adjusted to fit the expectations of V8 implementations. But also there was a lot of pretty good discussions on Twitter about when and how and if we should do things like that with the HQ involvement, Shannon's involvement there.
Warning, because this basically hits the database whenever you whenever you spin this up. So it should be used in. I worry that this could be used to kind of paper over people's incorrect architectural decisions. Not using the cache, using the database instead. But there are certain scenarios where you do want to be able to get this. The example that David Peck shared was he wants to store a representation of the content in a cache in MongoDB or in Redis or something, and he needed the iPublish content, but he needed to do that for every version of content that was saved, which are saved as iContent. So that's probably a use case, and he's kind of considered all the implications. Don't just go using this.
Yeah, exactly. You use it with the how to say it. It's like respect the usage of this kind of implementations. Don't copy and paste it and just whenever it's needed. But yeah, there are use cases for sure. But also there were some insights from Shannon, for example, about the examine events, about cache events to be used to trigger same behaviors. So yeah, we can learn through scanning and following the discussions like that. But here is the great explanation how it can be done, because it can be done. So great blog from Matt. You've mentioned Dennis and the blog post following the exploration here, so it will be linked underneath the video. And last but not least, it's a blog from Umbraco HQ highlighting new hire in the team, which is Julia, with a Polish last name, so I can pronounce it as a Polish name. It's probably Julia in across of the team members there, straight from Warsaw, Poland, working in Denmark right now for Umbraco as a front-end team member. So if you want to meet and learn more about Julia, it's like here with a Polish summer house somewhere here. So yeah, go and check it out. And that's all from our list for this week.
We did it. It didn't take 2 hours.
Yes. Yes. So right now, maybe let's do a demo of dependency injection with some of the tests. And 30 people who are watching us dropped.
Yeah.
No, that's all from this week. If we missed something, as always, let us know about it. Drop some comments, drop some likes, subscribes buttons. We are working on making umbraCoffee better, and we hopefully will surprise you this month with some new things being shared across this channel. And yeah, that's probably all as usual. If you're a gamer, remember about the game night today, and the link to join the Discord will be down below in the video. And if not, see you all next Friday. Yeah, have a good weekend, everyone.